So, hi everyone, officially welcome and thanks so much for joining today's webinar. My name is Luzanne Lottering. I am the Marketing Manager here at Cardiolog Analytics, and I will go ahead and kick things off. Today's webinar is about driving Office 365 collaboration and increasing portal productivity for government organizations. This webinar is being recorded, so if you want to share this with a colleague, we will go ahead and send an email with the recording after today's session. And of course, if you have any questions, please send them through the questions box within the GoToWebinar panel, and I'll leave some time towards the end for Q&A. And you can also connect with us on Twitter with the Twitter handle @Cardiolog. So, for today's session, we are going to focus on how governmental organizations are utilizing analytics for SharePoint and Teams as well. So it's no surprise that many government organizations face many challenges, things like increasing pressure to cut costs, streamline processes, and decreasing the amount of bureaucratic red tape. So by maximizing the effectiveness for existing technologies like SharePoint and Teams, with tools like analytics, governments are actually able to realize portal ROI, increase transparency, and push their collaboration efforts forward. So in regards to the agenda for today's webinar, we'll start out with a very short introduction. We will talk a bit about Cardiolog Analytics and who we are, and then I will show you our analytics solutions and how it works and which metrics are important to track to drive productivity. And then I will explain our analytics tool and how it can become a game changer for boosting collaboration and increasing portal productivity in SharePoint and Teams. And at the end, we will be taking some Q&A, so feel free to send those questions throughout the course of this presentation. So, a brief introduction. We've been in the analytics space for 365 for about 14 years now, almost 15. And we started back in 2005 with analytics for SharePoint, and we grew with Microsoft to the cloud, and now we really focus on SharePoint on-prem, online, Yammer, and Teams. We serve customers globally in about every industry, from finance, pharmaceutical, government, education, and many others. So basically the core of our company is to help drive adoption and usage of these platforms. So once our customers are aware of what's going on, it really helps them to improve those platforms and really drive the adoption and the consumption thereof. So just a little bit about our vision as a company. This slide shows our evolution. So there are three main pillars that we talk to customers about. The first pillar is monitoring activity, which is tracking the usage within SharePoint and Teams with in-depth intranet analytics, insights, and usage reports. So our customers then realize that understanding usage analytics is often simply not enough. So they wanted a way to take action based on the insights gained from monitoring their portal usage. So that brings us to the second is engaging users, asking them what their needs are, what their pain points are, and what's not working for them. And then finally, the most important pillar is enhance. We want to make sure that we're constantly improving these platforms based on those two pillars. So the real bottom line of our product is to help customers get more out of tools like SharePoint and Teams. In other words, getting people to use these technologies more. So here's a brief overview of our analytics and employee engagement solutions, which I will demo for you later. So first of all, our flagship product is Cardiolog Analytics. This is available both as an on-prem and as a SaaS version. And then we have Cardiolog Engage, a great interactive solution for sending internal communication campaigns across the SharePoint portal and also within Microsoft Teams and engaging with users. So with Engage, your customers can connect with their users to know what their needs are. You can send reminders, you can launch surveys, and you can dig deep to understand how you can improve various aspects of your platform, which I will tell you more about during the presentation. So, to get the most out of your intranet, you need to know exactly what is being used and if it's achieving the goals that have been set in place by your organization. Government agencies have begun making the choice to use analytics solutions for their SharePoint intranet portals since they have hundreds to thousands of users interacting in a portal. Government agencies worldwide need solutions that allow them to monitor portal activity with simple, user-friendly reports and dashboards, and these organizations need to drill deep inside the intranet portal with insights on things like page views, visitors, navigation, traffic sources, on-site search, portal growth, goals, social, and more. So within each of these categories, Cardiolog Analytics supplies a wealth of reports that help international organizations monitor their portal activity and achieve their portal goals. In order to achieve these goals, a very high quality resource needs to be available so that decision makers can implement solutions to achieve these goals. Government organizations and agencies need to develop a high level of transparency and accountability to improve their IT and communication hardware, and by streamlining documents, processes, information, communication, and much more within the SharePoint portal, these organizations can therefore then strive to achieve these goals. Thus, the first step government organizations should take is to implement a high-quality analytics solution. An analytics solution like Cardiolog Analytics enables organizations to improve the usability within the portal, drive collaboration, and enhance the overall productivity within the portal. Let me show you this in action by hopping straight into our demo environment. So Cardiolog Analytics also allows users to easily create their own fully customized reports based on an unlimited combination of metrics. You can even use Cardiolog Analytics to track Yammer and Teams and combine your data to explore insights on a single dashboard. Cardiolog Analytics is built for SharePoint and also imports your portal hierarchy and allows you to build your reports based on any item within that hierarchy, whether it's an entire farm or site or collection or list item. Meanwhile, content drill down allows you to drill deep into a specific section or subsection of your site, all the way down to the level of single pages or documents. And Cardiolog Analytics, I will show you all of that now, will even slice and dice data according to user attributes like departments and region or job title, and also provides unlimited scaling options to meet your company's needs and is not limited by your company's physical systems hardware. This allows you to easily upgrade or downgrade your storage space as your requirements change. So the cloud-based analytics offering ensures that Cardiolog Analytics SaaS is kept up to date with the latest versions by automatically installing important updates, and this eliminates a large amount of system maintenance costs and reduces the time that you spend in setup. So with a quick, easy implementation, you can get instant and insightful reports with minimum efforts and connect your data anywhere. And then just the last few things before I really get into this demo. The data is hosted in Azure for for SaaS, and that obviously ensures round-the-clock availability and a highly secured environment, and ultimately that means that an investment in Cardiolog Analytics SaaS will ensure your reliability, 24-hour access, ease of scalability, and then obviously definitely flexibility. So there are two things I want to show you today. This data and insights that I've just told you about, and then also secondly, what do we then do with that data? How do we leverage that data to actually take action in those departments or those teams where we see that adoption and productivity is lower, so that we can actually drive the collaboration and drive the productivity. So we'll start here with the analytics part. Here you can see, as I've mentioned to you, the SharePoint tree structure where I can track as many of those environments as I've mentioned. We can track both online as well as on-prem. And then at the bottom of my screen are those tabs. Each of these is a dashboard designed around a topic that our partners and customers are eager to learn more about. So that's everything from adoption to visitor engagement to we can also see things around search, usability, navigation, and so forth. So in this overview dashboard, I'm showing you data about content, adoption, and search. So here under adoption, for example, I'm showing data by departments. By default, it's showing departments. So this is how you know who is not very active. And then you can target those who need maybe more training, more support, and improve their adoption rates. If we look here under content, let me make this bigger. Here you can see the most active or the most popular content based on these page view numbers. So if we, for example, launched a new HR site, we can see here if people are taking advantage of that new content. And once we are aware of that, we can launch a campaign and make sure people are in fact aware of that wonderful new HR site. I can also flip this around. And now I'm showing all the inactive content, the content not being used often or not at all, whether it's sites, documents, pages, all the unused content. But now I know about it because I can see this. And now I'm empowered to take action and make the improvements needed. Those improvements can be anything from deleting it, archiving it, notifying everyone about the site, or adding a link from the home page, or even promoting it. So you can see that there's lots of really wonderful actionable data here. So that is the action we can take based on what's most popular and also the unused content. But besides that, there's even more information here. We can see everything like who owns this content, to the size of the content, to also help you take action. For example, with really large content, you can, for example, find out who owns this, contact that person who is the owner of this content, and tell that owner that they have, for example, 60 days to get rid of it, or take action to improve it, or I will delete this content. So if I go back to the report, at the very top here, you can see the different content types that I've mentioned to you earlier. So for example, if I just want to see, let's say, documents for most popular and least popular, instead of all the content, I'll go ahead and select documents, and you can see that immediately this report is only showing data about documents. Let me hop into another dashboard here. Here we can see how people navigate, so how they move around the portal. Are they taking many steps to get to the content they need? Are they wasting a lot of time trying to get to a specific document or page? If so, it's a huge waste of time and it limits an organization's productivity. But if you know about that, we can improve navigation, we can take action, we can make it easier to access specific documents and pages. So is everyone looking for the same documents or the same page? If so, let's surface that content so it's easier to find. Here on the left, you can see that our top search term here is benefits. So everyone in the company is searching for the term benefits. So let me click on benefits and filter the entire dashboard immediately by this one search term. And now you can see that benefits has been searched over 1,200 times. If I multiply that by over 60 seconds per search, it is a lot of time wasted looking for this one piece of content. But now I know about it. And that's the whole point. Once you know about it, you are able to take action, and perhaps we can put a link from the home page with the employee benefits, and that will save a lot of wasted time. It will also improve, obviously, the overall productivity in the organization, and a bonus, it will obviously help adoption as well, because as the technology becomes easier to use, the people or the users will come back and use it more often. If I continue on this dashboard, you can see here the successful versus failed searches for each term, in this case benefits. So this is something else that's even more concerning. It is a very high failed search rate. That means that only, if we look at these numbers, only about half of those users actually clicked on the results, and it means even more time is being wasted as well. But now we have this data, and if we have this data, we have a way of making improvements. So these are all the metrics that impact adoption in a negative way. If it's difficult for me to find content, I'm not going to be very eager to come back and use this technology again. Let me show you one more great dashboard. So let's look at responsiveness. If there is a lot of content loaded by the site owner or on a single page, it would cause that page to take many seconds to load. And that would be a reason no one is adopting their content. But now you can get these insights, and you can see, and you be aware of that, and that's when we are able to take action to make those improvements according to what we see here. Let me hop into a couple of dashboards for teams, and we will see similar data on how people are adopting teams. So starting off here, we can see all of our current teams. But if we want to see data for a specific team, let's say the management team, for example, I'll select the management team, and immediately you see that the data is now reflecting only the management team. We can also filter that by specific channels within the management team. And over here, we can see our top contributors and sort them by if they are most active, by thread started, channel messages, replies, or attachments. If I hop into our next dashboard, here you can see the team's activity, and this is where you see which teams are more active, and we can filter that by most number of members, channels, messages, replies, likes, and really any data that you're curious about to see which teams are more active or more inactive. And then these ones that are more inactive are the ones who need a little bit more training and support. What's really nice here, if I go back to the top teams, is that here you can see the top teams and also how active each of those top teams are. And that will give you a really good benchmark of what a productive or what a successful team looks like for you. You can go even more in depth here and sort this by offices and departments, so you can get more insights on how different locations and different groups are using Teams and what their top level of activity looks like. If I go to the next dashboard, influential users, in this dashboard you can see down to the user level, and with this info you can drive adoption by finding out who your influential users are. you can see here who's using Teams the most, and obviously who is using Teams the least. And then you know that these are the more inactive members, and then you know who to focus your training and support on. Also here we can see how many times each user has been mentioned, and even the user's interactions with each other. And then if I hop into the last one, the last dashboard here, the influential content. So for each team and channel, you can see if they are sharing files and using apps. So if customers want to give training for teams, for example, this is really, really a great dashboard, because if we know that a specific team is maybe not using an app, for example, they might not know that it's a functionality. So when we train, we know, we come here, we can look what to focus our training on and what to focus our support on. So now I've shown you all of the data that Cardiolog can provide. But how does knowing all of this really help you to drive productivity and collaboration? So that is in Cardiolog Engage, the answer to that question. The point of Cardiolog Engage is to further engage end users, and everything here in Cardiolog Engage is based on information captured by Cardiolog Analytics. For example, I have now seen in the data that there are users who did not interact with Microsoft Teams, if we're talking about Teams, or they didn't visit a specific page on SharePoint forever, or maybe let's say more than 2 weeks, or let's say 14 days, then I will go ahead and launch a campaign and target just these specific users. Maybe I want to let everyone in the company know about that new HR site that I've mentioned, and then I can send a message to everyone in the company. Maybe I just want to send a message to users who belong to SharePoint, or users who belong to a specific team in Teams, because I've seen in the data that they are not very active in Teams, and I want to send them a message, first of all letting them know that they have access to Teams, letting them know about collateral in SharePoint maybe that they can use, maybe new sales collateral that's been loaded up there for them, or maybe a document in Teams that they have to go and collaborate on. So how will this message, this very targeted message, be sent to this very targeted audience? It can be sent as a text message. Maybe the sales team is out in the field all day, and I want to let them know about new sales collateral that's available for them in SharePoint or Teams, and then I can send them a text message. Maybe they are very active in SharePoint but not in Teams. Then I want to send them a pop-up in SharePoint, maybe as a header or a footer with a reminder that they have access to Teams, or a link back to Teams, or maybe a pop-up in SharePoint whilst they are active, they are engaged, with a reminder of the new HR site. We can also send the messages right within the Teams platform, or maybe they're still using Slack and I want them to know soon they won't have access to Slack, and send them a link to Teams within Slack. We also integrate with Slack. And this message could be designed. So say, for example, I have noticed in the data that certain members or certain teams have not been very active in Teams or SharePoint, or they haven't visited the new HR site. Then I want to send them a message saying, I noticed that you haven't been active in, let's use Teams as an example, and I want to know, and I say, please give me some and I want to get insightful data. I want to get direct insights right from these users to know exactly what the reason is, why their adoption is lagging, why the collaboration is lagging. So then a call to action could be an open question, and I can get these insights right from the users. Maybe I want to invite them to training for teams or whatever the case may be, and then the call to action could be RSVP. So you can see that Cardiolog Engage is really great. Not only am I contacting and engaging and prompting the users to take action, but I can also get very valuable insights directly from the user. So it's a bidirectional communication tool. And these direct insights from the users will really inform you when it comes to training, when it comes to support, when it comes to improvements that you can make on your SharePoint portal, for example. And then when will this message be sent? Either immediately, it could be scheduled to be sent at a specific time, whether it's your time zone or the user's time zone, or you can trigger it based on their behavior in SharePoint. Maybe when they are scrolling down a specific page in SharePoint, a pop-up will appear with a link back to Teams or a reminder about collateral they have to collaborate on. So all of this will really drive the productivity for each user. Or maybe when they are performing a search in SharePoint where the results are something specific, or maybe the trigger could be viewing a specific page, then suddenly you know they are engaged, they are focused, and this pop-up will appear to remind them about this new HR site or collateral that have been uploaded for them, or a file in Teams that they have to collaborate on. So you can see that Cardiolog Engage integrates with SharePoint and also Teams and helps drive the adoption of those two platforms, the productivity and the collaboration within those two platforms. So that is what I wanted to show you. There we go. So why Cardiolog Analytics for governments? Government organizations manage a multitude of data processes, document distribution, communications, and other activities. And many of these organizations are also highly departmentalized and working from many different locations. So for these reasons, many decision makers within these organizations are looking for ways to streamline these processes to make them more effective, useful and productive. As many governmental organizations have very large user bases and infrastructures, they face a variety of challenges that require deeper insights into their SharePoint experience. So organizing resources and content are two examples of how analytics can help state and local organizations improve their SharePoint portals. And by making corporate communications more effective and efficient, like with Cardiolog Engage, governments are able to increase productivity and drive the portal user adoption. They can ensure that people are coming into the portal, are getting the right information they are looking for. And Cardiolog Analytics is actually the only on-prem SharePoint Analytics solution for enterprises. So why else is Cardiolog Analytics the way to go for governments? The answer is the 3 C's: compliance, control, and cost. So compliance, Cardiolog Analytics is a SharePoint reporting and analytics solution renowned for its security and consistency, and the on-premises solution enables compliance with the broadest range of legislation, regulations, and standards. Then the second C, control. Cardiolog Analytics gives you the ability to have complete control of your data. The on-premises solution allows you to have all your data stored within the safety and security of your own organization, which is really important. And then the last C, cost effectiveness. If you are seeking an ROI on your SharePoint investment, Cardiolog Analytics is the solution for you. So by first monitoring your portal activity like I've shown you, you can then optimize your portal so that both your administrators and also your end users can get the most out of your SharePoint investment. So one of the main advantages of choosing a solution like Cardiolog Analytics is that you are in complete control. Unlike most analytics out there, Cardiolog Analytics offers this on-prem solution, so you can host it on your own servers, and this ensures that your level of control over your internet security is up to your own organization's protocols and standards. And Cardiolog understands that privacy is one of the utmost important things for governments when managing their intranet data. So, which is why the on-premise offering is the ultimate solution for these significant needs. So, in conclusion, analytics assists government organizations in equipping portal stakeholders and administrators with the data and insights they need to optimize and improve SharePoint and also drive Teams adoption. But so now that you have this basic analytics knowledge, you can begin monitoring and tracking your SharePoint portal and also Teams, and you can now utilize these very basic metrics to turn your data into action. Improve your user productivity, provide value to your employees, increase user engagement between them, and obviously, very importantly, spark collaboration. So please do send any questions you may have in the GoToWebinar questions box. So I have here a question from Rachel about the licensing. Rachel says, what is the licensing for this? So Rachel, this for the SaaS platform, it is a yearly subscription based on the number of users being tracked. I'd be happy to send you a link to the pricing page and get you any additional information once we know how many additional users you want to track and target with these tools. I have a question from Sarah. How easy is it to deploy? So Sarah, what's really neat about this tool is it's designed for SharePoint, so there's no need for customization when you want to deploy. So with our setup wizard, you can get it up and running within an hour and already start to collect data. Question from Edgar. Do you have a trial? That's a really good question. Yes, we do have a trial. We have a free trial, and we also have a proof of concept for people who want a longer evaluation or to try more environments and features versus the free trial, which is very limited. I can definitely share some more information about what's included in each. And then I have a very long question here from Sumit. Is the data gathering Azure part of your solution a single centralized entity for all your customers, or do they get their own copies potentially into their own Azure tenant? The relevance of this is on data security and privacy of users and potentially also confidentiality of data. So, okay, let me answer that for you, Sumit. So, Cardiolog SaaS, with this option, the application and data are hosted on our Azure tenants. We have multiple Azure tenants based on the location of our customers. So we have many customers with very strict data privacy and security requirements, and we were able to go through their approval and their security vetting process. We actually have detailed documentation around security, privacy, GDPR, etc. I hope that answered your question. It seems to be all the questions. I don't see any other questions that have been sent in. So I'm going to wrap up the session today. As a reminder, we have recorded this webinar and we'll be sending out a recording tomorrow for you to share with your colleagues who were unable to attend. And we invite you to visit us at cardiologanalytics.com to book a personalized, detailed demo. And you can always tweet us at @cardiolog. And for more information and helpful tips, you can check out our blog at blog.cardiologanalytics.com. And for more information, you can contact us at info@cardiologanalytics.com. That seems to be it. A huge thanks to everyone who joined us today and everyone who sent in their questions. And if you have more questions, just get in touch with us. We'd be happy to answer them. And I hope for you all to have a really good day. Take care.